In our parsha, Parshat Vayeshev, we have the story of Yosef HaTzadik being Oleh Ligdula, becoming the viceroy of Mitzrayim, which became his personal Geula, redemption, and also became the platform of the redemption of Klal Yisrael, being placed in Mitzrayim to come in as special people, respected people, and so on. And Rabbi Chaim Pinchas Scheinberg, alav shalom, he said something, an observation that's amazing to encounter. He said the entire story started from one sentence. One sentence, that when Yosef is in charge of the dungeon, he's in jail, and he sees two people, the butler and the baker, that they don't look good one morning, and he goes over to them and says, Madua penechem ra'im hayom. Why is your face cloudy? Why are you not happy today? And from there, it all is, one thing after another. He interprets their dreams, and they remember him, and he gets to stand in front of Paro, and he becomes the viceroy of Mitzrayim overnight. Says Rabbi Chaim Pinchas Scheinberg, all of it started from one time of Yosef HaTzadik caring about another, using his power of control, instead of to control, to care. Madua penechem ra'im hayom. When a person is in charge of a dungeon, he doesn't have to go care about them. He could, exert his power and control. And this is something that you see illustrated beforehand as well. When Yosef HaTzadik becomes the one in charge of the jail, the dungeon, the pasuk says, "Veiten sar bet hasoar biyad Yosef et kol ha'asirim." The head of the jail system gave all of the people who were in dungeon under the control of Yosef. Ve'et kol asher osim sham hu haya oseh. Now Rashi interprets this as he would control everything that was going on in the dungeon. It was under the government and control of Yosef. But Rachaim HaKadosh offers an interpretation that's more straightforward, but it's so much more meaningful as well. Says Rachaim HaKadosh, even though that Yosef HaTzadik was the one in charge of the dungeon, in charge of the whole jail system, still, he would do everything that the people, the prisoners would do, he would also do. He walked the walk, he lived with them. If they had to carry things and lift things and do things, he would do it with them. V'chol asher hayu osim, asher osim sham, hu haya oseh. He also would do as they did. He used the power that he was given, instead of to control, he used it to care. And that is the first elementary level of leadership. And that's the beginning of Geula. You know why we were Nig'al, why he was saved? Because of the care. Why Klal Yisrael was saved? It was because of care. And you see this over and over in Tanakh. One additional place that you see this is in the Geula of the Jews from Mitzrayim, years after. The way it was initiated was the Shotrei Bnei Yisrael, the Jewish policemen who had to beat up the Jews to work, and they were under the government of the Egyptian taskmasters. They would take the beating when the Jews would not finish their quota. They would not beat them up. They would take the beating from the Egyptian taskmasters in order to save and protect their subjects, so to speak, the lower level workers of the Jewish people. And that initiated the Geula. When you have control, there were the taskmasters, the Jewish taskmasters. They could have beat them up and saved their own kavod and glory. But instead of doing that, they used the power to care. And that initiated the Geula. And that's going to be for every person in our lives as well, in our personal level and community level. When a person uses their power to care for other people, to be there, the higher you are, like the pasuk says, "HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we emulate his ways." Ram v'nisa shachen. HaKadosh Baruch Hu dwells in the highest of the high, v'daka u'shval ruach. By the same time, simultaneously, is with the lowest of the people who have been, downtrodden. That's where HaKadosh Baruch Hu dwells. That using the power to care is really the godliness that we emulate, and we see it play itself out in this story of personal redemptions and communal redemptions, Be'ezrat Hashem, for all of us. Amen.